Hey, it's Dr. John Terry, the Black Belt Leader, and welcome to the Black Belt Leadership Podcast, where each week I'm giving you tips, tools, insights, and resources to help you become a better version of who you are and what you do as you discover, develop, and deploy your own Black Belt leader within. Today, I want to talk about one of my favorite foods, stir fry, and an interesting lesson that we can take from this unique style of cooking. Now, if you're not familiar with stir fry, it's a cooking technique that originated in ancient China some 2,500 years ago. Stir frying involves tossing bite sized ingredients into a hot wok or a hot pan, and ultimately, what comes out? Tender, flavorful dishes, at least if you've got a cook that knows how to cook stir fry well. And here's what I can tell you, there's not a lot, in my opinion, that can beat a good stir fry. Now, if you do some research, evidence suggests that stir frying dates back to the Eastern Zhao period of China. Now, that's sometime between 771 and 256 BC. Now, researchers that have been looking into that period of history have found bronze inscriptions of the word chow on pots and cauldrons that dated back to that period. Now, initially, this referred to the dry stirring of food in a wok. The original reference, as we see it in history, was a technique to dry grain in a wok. And later references, as we look later on in this Zhao period of history, refers to a method of scrambling eggs. But by the late Ming Dynasty, the cost of wood and charcoal had gotten incredibly expensive for most of the residents of China. So stir fry was a way to make a more efficient way of cooking food quickly without wasting precious fuel. And by the Qin Dynasty, most Chinese homes had a wok range, as stir frying had become a mainstream method of cooking in China. It was ultimately faster and more convenient than boiling, braising, steaming, or other traditional cooking recipes from the country of China. Now, stir frying made its debut in America in the 19th century as a result of Chinese immigrants establishing roots in the United States. Stir frying was a way to bring something familiar to people living in a foreign land. Now, it also allowed the Chinese people to stay connected to their ancestral roots and to pass on a beloved tradition from one generation to the next. Now, the term stir fry itself first appeared in the United States in 1945 in Bu Wei Yang Chow's How to Cook and Eat in Chinese. Now, this was an early attempt to create a cookbook of famous Chinese recipes for an American audience and introduce Chinese cooking techniques to mainstream America. Now, a traditional wok used in stir fry is traditionally constructed of a very thin metal. The design of a wok and the metal used makes it highly conductive to heat. Now, this is what made the food cook faster, which resulted in it being a significant time saver, especially in times of scarce or inexpensive sources of fuel. Now, the shape of the wok itself not only allowed for faster heating of the food, but the depth of the wok created different heat zones that allowed the food to maintain its unique texture. Oil and seasonings were added to the wok once it was heated to not only add flavor to the dish, but to optimize the unique non-stick properties of a wok while it was cooking. Now, this not only led to food that was seared and hot, but it also led to food that was tender and crisp and fresh. Now, many of us today in America might think of stir fry if we visit many of the hibachi restaurants that have mastered the art of what I call entertainment stir fry, or as my kids used to call it, stir fry and a show. But millions and millions of more Americans still enjoy the benefits of stir fry in their own homes. What are they doing? They're perpetuating a tradition that was established over 2,500 years ago. Now, I can tell you this, the key to a great stir fry is the stirring. The ingredients that are placed in the wok need to be consistently stirred to ensure even heat distribution, to prevent sticking and burning, and to help the ingredients cook quickly, but at the same time maintain their texture and their flavor. Now, stirring also ensures that the food is exposed to the heat and the sauces at just the right time to allow the flavors to blend together to create something extraordinary. Now, a failure to adequately stir the ingredients in a wok leads to either a mixture of undercooked or overcooked food and a failure of the sauces to blend with the ingredients. A failure to stir can also allow moisture to accumulate in the pan, leading to soggy stir fry. And here's what I can tell you, nobody wants a soggy stir fry. So when it comes to good stir fry, we need more stirring and less suppressing. Now, there's a lesson in stir fry. You probably guessed it, but there is a lesson in stir fry. Several, in fact. Now, our lives are comprised of a number of ingredients. The thoughts we think, the beliefs we embrace, the words we speak, the actions we take, these are all ingredients that when stirred and combined together make us who we are. Our skills, our talents, our abilities are also key ingredients in what I call the making of us as we are stirred in the walk of life. Now, our character, which is the mental and moral qualities that are distinctive to us, and our morals and values, those acceptable standards of behavior, add flavor to our thoughts, our beliefs, our words, and our actions. Our character, our morals, and our values become the sauces that enhance the making of us, adding flavor to our lives, and ultimately allow us to stand out as unique, distinctive, and attractional as black belt leaders. Now, here's what I can tell you. When stir fry is cooking in the kitchen at my house, the aroma fills every single room. And it doesn't matter what room you're in, once the stir fry starts and that smell begins to permeate the house, your appetite gets stimulated. Everybody in the house wants some of what's being stirred up. Well, guess what? The same applies to you and I. When we stir up our gifts, our talents, and our abilities that are dormant within each and every one of us, and when we savor them with good moral and values and character, our lives are going to stimulate the interest of other people who want to enjoy what you and I have to offer as we share our wisdom, our insights, and our knowledge to improve the lives of other people. Now, the sizzle of the ingredients cooking in the wok is inviting as well. It is a unique sound that captures the attention of people. And in the very same way, our lives, if properly stirred, can capture the attention of other people as well. Our lives can let people know when something good is about to be served up. It's going to attract people to us, expanding our reach, our influence, and our opportunity to lead. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about stirring up our potential. Now, to create a successful stir fry, quality ingredients are needed. And the same is true for you and for me. So when we cultivate and add to our lives things that are of value, these ingredients are important to create a quality dish in what I refer to as the making of us in the walk of life. So as we look at the ingredients we're putting into ourselves, it's very, very important that you and I pay attention to what we're adding to our lives by what we read, by what we watch, by what we listen to, and who we engage with. Because we don't want to fill our lives with inferior ingredients. Now, another essential characteristic in creating quality stir fry is heat. A wok is heated to high temperatures, so the ingredients, once they're tossed into the wok, can be heated, seared, and cooked quickly, efficiently, and effectively, but still maintaining the quality of its texture. The heat allows the ingredients to absorb the flavors and the sauces that are added to the dish, enhancing its overall flavor, smell, and taste. So how does this apply to us? It's in times of stress and pressure, As we go through the walk of life, that what has been added to our lives is tempered. It's mixed with our character and our values, and it ultimately reveals to the world what we're truly made of. But understand this, without the stirring, there is no stir fry. So stirring mixes the meats, the vegetables, and the sauces in a wok or on top of a hibachi grill. It creates a fresh, delicious recipe, but at the same time, it preserves the natural flavor and textures of the ingredients while it's imparting a delightful char and an incredibly great smell and aroma. And as you and I go through our daily routine, our gifts, our talents, and our abilities are constantly being stirred by the thoughts we think, the beliefs we embrace, the words we speak, and the actions we take. So that begs the question that you have to answer and I have to answer for ourselves every single day. And that question is this: who's stirring the walk of your life? Is it you or is it someone else? Because when we stir up our gifts, our talents, our skills, and our abilities, you and I are stirring up our potential. Rightly stirred, under the right heat and under the right pressure, we create the environment for more success in our lives. As we go through the stirring process, we expand our potential, we build our capacity, and we open new doors of opportunity. Now, let me add here that a coach or a mentor can also help us stir up our potential and share their experience and expertise to make us better. It's like hiring a master chef to teach us new and creative ways to cook. A coach or a mentor can help us take our gifts, our talents, our skills, and our abilities to create something maybe we haven't yet envisioned we're capable of doing. Now, by the same token, when we fail to stir up the gifts, the talents, and the skills and ability that are laying within us, our black belt leader within, waiting to be discovered, developed, and deployed, what are we doing? When we fail to stir them up, we are suppressing our potential. So when we fail to stir up the gifts and talents within us, what are we doing? We're limiting our potential. We're tearing down our capabilities. We're closing the doors of opportunity before they ever have a chance to open or even reveal themselves to us. And as a result of that, we remain where we are, as we are, unchanged in our lives. Now, let me add here that having negative people in our lives can also suppress our potential and it can stifle our growth and development. So be very careful who you allow to contribute to the walk of your life. Because if you fail to stir the gifts and talents that are within you, if you allow negative people to suppress your potential, this is a recipe for scarcity and failure. So here's an important question that you and I need to answer every single day. Are you stirring or are you suppressing? Are you daily stirring up your gifts, your talents, your skills, and your abilities, or are you failing to do so and suppressing them in the process? Are you daily growing yourself as a leader, adding fresh ingredients to your life, or are you cooking with the same old stale ingredients of days gone by? Are you examining the thoughts you think, the beliefs you embrace, the words you speak, and the actions you take to make sure they're serving you well? Or are you just content to live an average, mediocre, lackluster, status quo life, doing things the same way over and over again? It's important to remember that successful people do daily what unsuccessful people do sometimes or not at all. So, what are you doing to daily build up your capabilities, to expand your opportunities, and to open the door for more abundance and more success in your life? What you and I need in our life is more stirring. Because remember, the right ingredients stirred in the right rock at the right temperature creates an amazing recipe for success. It expands our potential to say, to do, and to become more than we are right now. Now, the searing process of stir fry creates desirable flavors. It enhances the appearance of the food and it improves the texture and the taste. Now, this searing process in the making of us makes us more resilient as it enhances the ingredients we've added to the walk of our lives. The stress and pressures we go through allow us to sear and build the resilience to keep moving forward, even under pressure. And when we do that, what are we doing? We're continuing to expand our potential, to increase our attractiveness, and to enhance our capabilities. Every single day, you and I are stirring and suppressing. But it's important to pay attention to what we're stirring and what we're suppressing. We want to make sure, as black belt leaders in life, we're stirring up more of the good things in our lives that allow us to keep learning, growing, improving, and becoming a better version of who we are and what we do in the process. And by the same token, we should also be suppressing the negative things and the bad things in our lives, the self-saboteurs that limit our potential, that stifle our success, and that violate our character, our values, and our morals. If we fail to suppress the negative and the bad, we're setting ourselves up for scarcity and for failure. So, what do we need to do? Stir up more of the right things and suppress more of the wrong things. And in doing that, we create a recipe for more abundance and more success in our lives. One final question as we wrap up today's teaching, and one you and I need to be intentional in answering every single day. And that question is this: what are you stirring and what are you suppressing in the making of you in the walk of life? Hey, I'm Dr. John Terry, the Black Belt Leader, and I want to say thanks for joining me. Have a great day.